Before We Cheers is about celebrating people and moments before that spotlight hits. That build up and that texture and that in between. Because the best stories don't always happen during the toast, they happen before it. I'm Zach, and for this first solo episode, I want to share why I created this show. Why celebration has always mattered to me, and why I think it matters for all of us. I grew up in New York, and some of my earliest memories are tied to music. My very first concert was Barney at Radio City. Yes, Barney, Purple Dinosaur. I do not remember the details of the show, but I remember the lights. I remember the feeling of being part of something bigger. And a couple years later, it was boy bands at Madison Square Garden. Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, and the screaming was so loud you could hardly hear the songs. But it didn't matter. And then there was the Rolling Stones. September 2005, first month of 7th grade. I was 13 years old. My dad pulled me out of school and took me and my cousins to Giant Stadium for the Bigger Bang tour. It was the first time I'd ever seen them. They played Brown Sugar. The whole stadium was electric. Tens of thousands of people, multi-generations, everyone singing. And it felt like a universal language. I still remember my science teacher asking if I had missed school for a Rolling Stones concert. And I said it was a family engagement. She did not buy it. But needless to say, I nearly failed science that year. But that concert was worth it. And it showed me what legacy feels like. 2 years later, it was the Killers at Madison Square Garden. April 2007, end of 8th grade, the first concert I went to without my parents. General admission, pit, with friends, 14 years old. And the Killers only had Hot Fuss and Sam's Town out. And that band felt like ours. It felt like our generation. And being in the pit with my friends, everyone my age, singing every word. It was freedom. It was one of the first times I felt truly independent. But as much as I remember the concerts, I remembered that in between. And for me, that was my local diner, the Mansion Diner on 86th and York. Still there today. Back then, it was, old school. The menu was like 18 pages long, front and back. I remember, the French toast with bacon and like the cranberry juice and seltzer and the Coke when I was a kid, Diet Coke now. The booths were vinyl and that smell of coffee never really left the air. It was the kind of place you went with like family visiting or when, we just didn't want to cook at home or when you just wanted something easy and comforting. It wasn't glamorous, but it was ours. And that's where my love of toast comes from. Even back then, I loved raising a glass. And even if it was just soda at a diner, it made the moment feel way more meaningful. And it was a ritual that said, this matters. This ritual has followed me into adulthood. And the most recent time it really landed was giving a toast at my best friend's wedding. I thought about our 14 years of friendship, the good times and the tough times, and the fact that we had stayed together that long as a group of us. Media makes it look normal. Movies and TV tell you that friends always stay connected. But in reality, it's rare. And the toast made me realize just how grateful I am for that bond. But somewhere along the way, I'd stopped celebrating. I got caught up in comparison, in the hustle, in this grass is greener mentality that comes with living in a place like New York. You see people your age with this perfect job and the apartment, partner, kids, and sometimes you look at yourself thinking, I should be happier right now, but I'm too busy looking at what's next. I felt that. And I know I'm not alone here. But that's why I started Before We Cheers, to slow down, to remember that the big milestones matter, but so do the small ones. Those diner meals, the concerts, the inside jokes, the imperfect, the overlooked, the in between. And this show, I will sit with people who have shaped culture in their own ways: photographers, artists, nightlife figures, tastemakers, friends. We'll talk about identity, memory, reinvention, and the legacies they hope to leave behind. But also the stories that never make headlines, the ones that really show who we are. And at the very end of every episode, we'll raise glass because life's too short not to celebrate while we can. So here's to the moments before the flash, before the toast, before the cheers.